In the midst of the uproar surrounding the Barco family, the Malok family orchestrated a social gathering to navigate the shifting tides of alliances and power. At the helm of the Malok family stood Helena Malok, a woman of poise and influence who believed that Dimitry would emerge as the central figure in the Northeast. As the evening unfolded, Helena, the matriarch of the Malok family, orchestrated the event with precision, recognizing the opportune moment to solidify the Malok family's stance alongside Dimitry. The gathering served as a strategic move, a subtle declaration of allegiance that had been steadfast since the beginning. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation as the guests arrived. Helena, adorned in regal attire, welcomed Reincarnated Dimitry, the formidable lady of the Dimitry family. Reincarnated, as the wife of Baron Dimitry, had played a pivotal role in navigating the intricate web of aristocratic politics. Her interactions with noble ladies were not merely social, they were calculated moves to build a formidable pro-Dimitry force. Baron Romero, in contrast, lacked the finesse for politics that his wife possessed. The interference from the Barco family threatened to undermine Dimitry's ascendancy in the aristocracy. However, Reincarnated Dimitry, with her shrewd understanding of political maneuvering, had set the stage beforehand. Her foresight and strategic efforts prevented the Dimitry family from collapsing under the weight of Barco's interference. Expressing gratitude to the noble ladies who had gathered, Reincarnated Dimitry acknowledged their crucial role in the unfolding drama. The gathering, she asserted, was not just a social event, but a platform for regional unity and understanding. Her words carried weight, emphasizing the necessity for those in the same region to stand united in the face of changing circumstances. As the ladies converged around the table, the air thickened with a sense of purpose. Helena Malok, seizing the moment, directed her attention to Reincarnated Dimitry. With a careful gaze, she inquired about the lady's opinion on her daughter, Veronica. Helena believed Veronica to be a suitable match for Roman, a revelation that sent ripples of surprise through the gathering. Roman at 25, Helena asserted, Roman stood at the precipice of responsibility. It was time for him to take a wife and establish a family, a strategic move that would secure the Malok family's future in the aristocracy. It was a delicate matter, and Helena felt compelled to clarify that her suggestion wasn't merely rooted in maternal bias. With sincerity in her voice, Helena assured Reincarnated that her endorsement of Veronica as a suitable match for Roman wasn't solely because of their familial connection. Instead, she genuinely believed that Veronica possessed the qualities that would make her an ideal partner for Roman. However, before Helena could delve further into her reasoning, other noble ladies at the table interjected, casting doubt on the viability of Helena's proposal. These ladies pointed out that Veronica was already in discussions for a marriage proposal with another family, effectively shutting down Helena's proposition. The atmosphere became charged with a mix of disappointment and intrigue as the attention shifted from Helena's family to potential suitors for Roman. Seizing the opportunity, other noble ladies eagerly invited Reincarnated Dimitry into the conversation, expressing their interest in having their daughters considered as potential matches for Roman, each lady vying for the coveted position of securing Roman's hand in marriage. Reincarnated Dimitry, with her astute understanding of aristocratic dynamics, took a moment to reflect on the past 6 years. Roman, the eldest son of the Dimitry family, had been relegated to the sidelines, considered a nuisance in the aristocratic circle. The fact that he would not inherit the family added an additional layer of complexity to his position. However, Roman's rise as a 4-star knight had changed the game entirely, securing for him a promising future that had eluded him before. As Reincarnated acknowledged the transformation of Roman from a nuisance to a man of attention, she shared her perspective with the assembled ladies. She appreciated their high regard for her son but revealed that Roman had already endured significant hardships. Rather than orchestrating marriages based on the desires of two families, Reincarnated expressed her desire for Roman to find someone he genuinely loved. In a bold declaration, Reincarnated announced an end to the discussions about arranging marriages for Roman. She set forth a different criterion. The one who captured Roman's heart first would emerge victorious. The noble ladies, perhaps relieved to escape the complexities of familial negotiations, welcomed this refreshing approach with enthusiasm. The narrative then shifted to the Lawrence Palace, where Flora, a contemplative figure in the library, grappled with the harsh realities of power dynamics. Lawrence had suffered a defeat against Barco, and Flora had harbored hopes that they could endure until winter for a chance at redemption. However, the unforeseen variables that unfolded had shattered those hopes. In contrast, Flora acknowledged Roman's foresight and strategic brilliance in navigating the complex landscape. As she thought about him, a blush crept onto her cheeks. Despite her initial disdain, Flora found herself yearning to embody some of Roman's qualities. His strength and ability to tackle challenges head-on had earned her admiration, reshaping her perception of the man she had once loathed. In the realm of social intricacies and shifting relationships, Roman's reputation precedes him as an egotistical and arrogant man, someone seemingly consumed by his own pursuits. However, amidst the perceptions that shroud him, Flora finds herself contemplating the source of Roman's strength and the true essence of his character. Closing the book she had been engrossed in, she decides to step out into the open air, seeking a respite from her musings. Flora wrestles with her curiosity about Roman. Despite the enigmatic aura surrounding him, she acknowledges the stark reality that their paths have diverged since the dissolution of their engagement. Flora believes there's no discernible reason for her to cross paths with Roman Dimitry again. This realization, however, is disrupted as someone unexpectedly calls her sis. Intrigued and taken aback, Flora turns to see her cousin, Sylvia Lawrence, making an unanticipated appearance. The sudden encounter with Sylvia raises questions in Flora's mind. Puzzled by her cousin's presence, Flora decides to seek clarification from her father, the Baron. Making her way straight to his office, she confronts him about the party in Dimitry that Sylvia alluded to, expressing surprise at being kept in the dark about such an event. Baron Lawrence, in a moment of transparency, reveals that recent events have prompted him to reevaluate certain aspects of their family dynamics. Flora's keen discernment and judgment skills, particularly exemplified by bringing Roman Dimitry into the fold during a crucial battle, played a pivotal role in securing a victorious outcome in the war. Grateful for Flora's contributions, Baron Lawrence admits to having underestimated her value in the past. Expressing remorse for his oversight, Baron Lawrence assures Flora that he won't repeat the mistake of undervaluing her capabilities. He pledges unwavering support for Flora's dreams and endeavors, releasing her from the familial expectations that may have hindered her personal pursuits. Touched by her father's words, Flora finds herself moved. However, the heartfelt sentiment is juxtaposed with Flora's evolving skepticism as she contemplates attending the party. Despite her father's seemingly sincere words, Flora remains cautious, recognizing the complexities that often underlie familial dynamics. Inquisitive by nature, Flora probes her father about the invitation extended to Sylvia. Suspicion creeps in as she wonders about the potential ulterior motives behind Sylvia's journey from the capital. Baron Lawrence, with surprising candor, admits that his decision was fueled by personal greed. Upon hearing her father's words, Flora discerns a subtle attempt to rekindle the connection between the Lawrence and Dimitry families through Sylvia. Acknowledging this intention, Flora happily expresses her willingness to accompany Sylvia to the upcoming event, viewing it as an opportunity for Lawrence to reciprocate Roman Dimitry's past assistance. In response, Baron Lawrence, in a protective tone, reassures Flora that she need not go out of her way, assuring her that he will ensure she remains uninvolved with Roman. Unyielding, Flora, with a determined expression, insists on being Sylvia's guide. The narrative then transitions to the Valhalla Temple, a branch in the Cairo Kingdom, where Willis, the head of the temple and an evaluator of Valhalla's ranking, receives surprising news. He learns of a 25-year-old son from a remote noble region who has remarkably defeated a 4-star Aura Knight with a single strike. Intrigued by this revelation, Willis contemplates the emergence of a potential prodigy. Wearing a smirk, Willis recognizes the need to personally confirm the validity of this information. An evening of festivity loomed with a scheduled party, but before the merriment commenced, the noble ladies decided to pay an early visit to the Dimitry family. Excitement buzzed among them, fueled by the prospect of encountering the enigmatic Roman. Sylvia, however, couldn't shake the gloomy impression attributed to him in the circulating rumors. As the noble entourage ventured deeper into the Dimitry region, they were met with a landscape that aligned with their preconceived notions, a terrain dominated by the labor-intensive activities of mining. Dimitry, renowned as the mining hub, presented a stark contrast to the refined aesthetics the noble ladies were accustomed to in the capital. They found themselves questioning the living conditions in such a neighborhood, raising doubts about the broader appeal of Dimitry. Even the common folk in the capital, they reckoned, prioritized basic aesthetics. Sylvia, not one to conceal her distaste, resorted to covering her face with a handkerchief, deeming Dimitry far removed from any semblance of artistic beauty. Observing Sylvia's reaction, Flora, with a perceptive gaze, couldn't help but piece together some of Sylvia's background. Sylvia's father, a merchant who had settled in the capital, was revealed to be the younger brother of the Earl of Lawrence. In Flora's mental landscape, the bustling capital stood in stark contrast to both Lawrence and Dimitry, which she now considered countryside compared to the urban expanse she was familiar with. The ladies continued their exploration, encountering miners returning from their day's toil, their figures cloaked in a fine layer of dust. The sight left the noble ladies unsettled, particularly concerning the potential impact on the cleanliness of their finely adorned dresses. A miner confidently strode down the street, embodying what the noble ladies perceived as the inherent issue with Dimitry, a place defined by its industrial pursuits. In the midst of the scene, someone passed by Flora, briefly fooling her into believing it was Roman. Upon closer inspection, she discovered it wasn't Roman himself, but an illusion that had momentarily captivated her attention. However, this illusion soon turned into reality as the unmistakable figure of Roman Dimitry came into view. The entrance of Roman brought forth Hans, his devoted butler, who rushed to Roman with an air of concern. Hans expressed his reservations about Roman heading to the mines, and upon noticing Roman's dust-covered appearance, he instinctively moved to rectify it. Roman, however, stopped Hans, refusing his assistance. The commotion around Roman caught the attention of the noble ladies, who, in turn, grew increasingly excited at the unexpected encounter with the elusive figure of Roman Dimitry. Sylvia, in particular, found Roman to be even more captivating than the rumors had suggested. Pondering the whispers about the potential loss of heir position for the second son of Dimitry, Sylvia questioned the credibility of such claims. In her estimation, a family would not assign their son to the laborious role of a miner if he were destined for a position of succession. Sylvia proposed to the other noble ladies that they pay Roman a visit before the evening's party. The group, fueled by anticipation, made their way towards Roman. Sylvia took the initiative, introducing herself as Sylvia from the Lawrence family. Gratitude adorned her words as she thanked Roman for extending assistance to her family during a critical time. Sylvia expressed genuine appreciation, affirming that Roman was indeed as wonderful as the rumors had circulated. Roman, in response, modestly acknowledged his exceptional qualities before excusing himself, departing alongside Hans, his loyal butler. Sylvia, caught off guard by Roman's swift departure, stood there in a state of stunned surprise. Meanwhile, Flora, observing the unfolding scene, couldn't contain her laughter at the unexpected turn of events. Hans, concerned for Roman's well-being, inquired if he still intended to attend the upcoming party. He suggested that Roman take a moment to rest before joining the festivities. However, Roman hesitated, revealing that he preferred spending time only with those who genuinely appreciated his presence. The mockery directed at Dimitri's mining industry by the noble ladies had given him pause, prompting a reconsideration of his participation in the event. Hans persisted, seeking answers about the duration of Roman's labor in the mines, expressing concern despite the absence of direct orders from the Lord. In response, Roman shared insights into Dimitri's essence, portraying it as a land rooted in blacksmithing and iron mining. He vividly described the strenuous efforts of miners extracting iron ore, emphasizing that this process epitomized the very core of Dimitry. Roman expressed a desire to share in the experiences of the people, acknowledging that mere words could not encapsulate their reality. Roman's sentiments touched Hans, who marveled at the evident growth in Roman's character, prompting reflective thoughts about when this transformation occurred. The scene transitioned to the Dimitry training grounds, where soldiers diligently underwent training under the guidance of Chris. Roman recognized Chris's invaluable experience from the war against Barco, fostering a deep-seated loyalty among the soldiers. In addition to the basic magical training Roman imparted, Chris seamlessly integrated the Surazim and Swara sword techniques. This fusion allowed Roman to unlock his potential as an aura prosecutor, a realization that underscored the importance of knowledge and training in mastering the intricacies of power. Yet, Roman acknowledged that these foundations alone were insufficient in the broader context of his journey. Recognizing his adept analytical skills, Roman decides that building his own intelligence force is a necessity. However, the hurdle lies in the need for financial resources and manpower, elements he currently lacks. To address this challenge, Roman summons Chris for a discussion. As Chris arrives, Roman inquires about the ongoing training progress. Chris, with evident enthusiasm, reports that the soldiers are passionate and quick learners, signaling anticipated improvements in the near future. Seizing the moment, Roman reveals his plan to teach Chris a new sword technique. Chris, taken aback by this unexpected proposition, attentively listens as Roman elaborates. Roman acknowledges Chris's distinctive approach, highlighting that Chris stands apart from the others. He notes that Chris has already forged his own path, making it challenging for him to embrace new knowledge. Despite this, Roman believes that Chris is now prepared for a new learning experience. With anticipation in the air, Roman unveils the name of the sword technique he intends to impart to Chris, Seamjin. This technique, once held in high regard by the Murim, carried a legacy associated with a festival known as the Great Master of the World. For Chris, Seamjin represents the next step in his martial journey, offering a promising avenue for continued growth and mastery. The Dimitry Palace buzzed with the energy of the ongoing party. The butler's announcement signaled the imminent entrance of Roman, prompting a collective anticipation among the noble ladies. As Roman stepped into the room, his charismatic presence immediately captured the attention of all. The noble girls, enchanted by his charms, couldn't help but blush in response. A gathering quickly formed around Roman, the girls eager to understand why he had left abruptly earlier in the day. With a warm smile, Roman explained that he had just concluded a day's work and wished to present himself in a more presentable manner for the festivities. The simplicity of his explanation and his effortless charm disarmed the inquisitive noble ladies. Sylvia, among the noble ranks, couldn't contain her admiration for Roman. She openly expressed her belief that he lived up to the rumors surrounding him. In a playful tone, Sylvia marveled at the unconventional choice of a noble household successor actively engaging with minors. Pondering aloud, she wondered if her life could undergo a similar transformation with someone like Roman as her spouse. Roman, gracious in his response, deflected the praise, insisting that Sylvia was flattering him too much. The party continued with Roman seamlessly conversing with the noble ladies, his amiable demeanor making him the center of attention. The scene transitioned to the balcony outside, where Roman found a moment of solitude. Unbeknownst to him, Flora approached from behind. She commended Roman for his acting skills, a remark that took him by surprise. Flora had perceived Roman as someone indifferent to relationships, making his current role in the social gathering unexpected to her. Roman, however, explained the necessity of his behavior at this particular party, emphasizing that it involved his parents and their guests, setting it apart from his usual course of action. As the conversation unfolded, Roman recalled his initial meeting with Flora, drawing a parallel to the present situation. Flora, acknowledging Roman's point, flipped her hair casually, revealing a newfound understanding. In a moment of self-reflection, she recognized that her initial disrespect was met with Roman's unchanging standards. Intrigued by his consistency, Flora couldn't help but wonder about the life Roman had lived, leading him to maintain such steadfast principles. Flora couldn't help but question Roman's unexpected foray into mining earlier that day. To her, the idea of a successor involving themselves in the mines seemed peculiar, especially considering the apparent disconnect between mining and the typical responsibilities of a successor. Intrigued, she confronted Roman, seeking an explanation for this seemingly unconventional choice. In response, Roman turned the question back to Flora, prompting her to contemplate how the Lawrence family had achieved its current standing. Flora, somewhat surprised by the unexpected query, shared the common belief that Lawrence's success was primarily attributed to its fertile soil and abundant produce. However, Roman unraveled a different narrative, revealing that the Lawrence family's prosperity was rooted in business. They actively engaged in selling or bartering their own produce, a strategic move that significantly contributed to their elevated status. Roman's insight provided Flora with a new perspective, especially when he pointed out that Baron Lawrence's brother had become a merchant in the capital. Flora, stunned by this revelation and Roman's awareness of Dimitri's roots, sought to understand the connection between this information and Roman's recent stint in the mines. Roman enlightened her, emphasizing that the heart of Dimitri lay in the iron mines. The tireless efforts of miners, covered in dirt as they extracted iron ores day in and day out, played a pivotal role in Dimitri's ascent. Roman believed that spending time in the iron mines was not only a means of understanding the miners but also a way to empathize with them. He considered it a duty for someone carrying the Dimitri name. Flora, taken aback by the depth of Roman's revelation, absorbed the weight of his words. Roman, sensing that he had lingered for too long, expressed his intention to take his leave. As Roman departed, Flora, left alone to contemplate, couldn't help but gaze at the sky with a newfound clarity and a smile. Meeting with Roman, it seemed, had clarified her thoughts and led her to a decision. The narrative shifted to a few days later, marking Flora's departure from Lawrence to the capital. This symbolic moment signaled the departure of the flower of Lawrence from the confines of the greenhouse into the vast expanse of the outside world. Flora's decision to venture beyond familiar territories hinted at a transformative journey ahead. The story then pivoted to the iron mines, where Jacob, the mine master, engaged in a conversation with Hendrik the smithy master about recent work activities. Jacob spoke with confidence as he assured Hendrik that the Lawrence mountain had only been partially developed. Even if the Dimitry family continued mining from it for decades, the iron mine wouldn't be depleted. Drawing on his lifelong experience in mining, Jacob provided a guarantee of its enduring richness. Intrigued by the recent rumors, Hendrik queried Jacob about Roman Dimitry's uncharacteristic involvement in the mines over the past half-month. Hendrik couldn't help but wonder why there was an unusual hush in the air lately. The scene then transitioned to half a month ago, when word spread among the miners that Lord Roman Dimitry would be joining them in the mine. Anticipating Roman's arrival, some miners speculated that he would merely go through the motions and quickly depart. Morkan, a veteran miner, expressed skepticism, suggesting that Lord Dimitry had lost his touch. In Morkan's view, if Baron Dimitry intended to educate his successor, such efforts should have been initiated much earlier. He argued that Baron Dimitry had favored blacksmiths, neglecting the miners who played an essential role in the foundation of Dimitry. Morkan contended that the three Dimitry successors had learned iron forging in the smithy since childhood, but had never taken the time to understand the intricacies of mining. To him, this lack of interest served as clear evidence of discrimination against miners. While some workers found Morkan's argument a bit of a stretch, he remained steadfast in his belief. He insisted that the foundation of Dimitry lay in the iron mine, despite the blacksmiths receiving all the glory. Morkan was convinced that Roman had been coerced into performing mining tasks against his will. Despite this, he had no intention of showing deference to Roman. Rallying his workers, Morkan declared that they would demonstrate to Roman just how challenging mining truly was. When Roman eventually arrived at the mines, Morkan took the initiative to introduce everyone, announcing that Roman would be working alongside the miners starting that day. Emphasizing safety as the top priority, Morkan instructed his workers to focus on it above all else. As everyone resumed their tasks, Roman couldn't help but notice that he was being ignored. Unfazed by their indifferent attitudes, he decided not to let it affect him. Meanwhile, the city of mining Dimitry loomed in the backdrop, prompting Roman to reflect on the intricacies of the people's lives, the power dynamics at play, and the potential contributions he could make to this land. Roman envisioned a comprehensive understanding of everything concerning Dimitry, contemplating how he could integrate these insights into his future plans.